Serious, what is the fastest way you have seen someone ruin their life? From r/AskReddit. Part 3. 1. Use of meth. Seen so many people and friends jump right off the deep end by just trying it, and after 20 years have yet to jump out of the self-made dumpster fire that is their life. Nasty sh*t, meth. Colleague starts out great at new job, gets through probation, then gets out of control drunk at a company party. She makes out with the boss's date and hooks up with another colleague while her husband is there. Fast forward, she's dating this colleague now and their relationship is causing disciplinary measures at work. They decide to double down and sign a new lease together anyways. She then lies about getting poached by a customer to leverage a raise, and when it doesn't work she actually has to quit. Her boyfriend then follows suit by not showing up and ghosting the company. Now he's a stay-at-home stepdad. Oh, did I mention she has 3 kids, after being with this girl for 6 months and they both don't have a job. Kind of a 2-for-1. A previous classmate of mine robbed and shot a taxi driver in the back of the head when he was 17-14. Edit, I remembered incorrectly, the classmate was 14 at the time, pretty sure he had dropped out of school, but this was close to 30 years ago. There was a 17-year-old accomplice that planned it but didn't actually pull the trigger. If you want to Google it, LeVar Jones Lancaster PA should do the trick. It took 4 hours. He woke up, murdered his grandparents in their sleep, stole all of the firearms in the house and his grandfather's truck, and fled. I grew up with this dude. He was a genuinely good person. We were friends all of elementary school and most of middle school. He was an amazing friend and always knew how to help someone. But he had a lot of mental health issues, and his religious family believed it was just possession by demons and whatnot. Recently his actual hearing was done, and you could tell how far off the deep end he had gotten. Smiling the whole time they described what he did, laughed when they sentenced him, and had to be dragged out laughing like a lunatic saying, "It's over, Grandpa. It's over." It was during the court trials that we found out his grandparents were apparently sexually abusing him. Something the rest of the family seemingly knew quite well but ignored. And they'd refused to let him leave the house despite him being in his 20s and a legal adult. They isolated him from the world, told him he was possessed by demons, and let his grandparents molest him repeatedly without intervention. I'm honestly not even surprised he did it, I'm just sad it went down the way it did. A guy I worked with at Papa John's when I was in college bought a gun from a co-worker. Our other co-worker got robbed delivering a pizza. He told me he wants to see if it works. He went and shot it into an empty developing neighborhood into some trees. The bullets hit a house behind the trees with a family and kids. Nobody was hurt but they were scared to death. Police immediately came and arrested him before he could even pull off. They were camping out in that neighborhood already since people were coming at night to smoke weed. Have S**X and shoot guns SMH. He shot 3 shots. Got 25 years in prison for attempted murder and reckless endangerment. First time ever shooting a gun. We were only 19. This was in 2006. I think about him a lot. We weren't close like that. But he's still in prison over a 5-second mistake 17 years later. Really nerdy kid too. First time ever in trouble. I follow his sister on Facebook. He's unrecognizable now. Imagine McLovin from Superbad who looks like Jason Momoa now with tats on his face. Sad. Also, my roommate a few weeks later was struggling financially and decided to buy 2 pounds of weed to sell with his student loan refund check. Got pulled over and arrested the same day. Got 5 years. Can't make this sh*t up. The amount of time it took for him to finish his first bump of coke. He was hooked instantly and been chasing it ever since. He's been hospitalized at least once, and as many as 4 times. Due to complications that are hitting him harder and harder. Girl's divorce sent her into a manic episode. Her friends understood, but she lost her medical license, that she had less than a year, because she posted patient information on social media. She lost her job, made her lose her income, so she lost her home. She decided to stay in nice hotels, from the mania, and was in debt by the end of 2 weeks. I know a guy who came home drunk to his parents' house. Got in an argument with his stepfather and punched him once. Stepfather died. Guy ended up in prison on a murder conviction. I knew someone who had a full scholarship to an in-state university. He got addicted to heroin, overdosed, fell into a coma, and now he's confined to a wheelchair and has the mental capacity of a toddler. It happened within 2 or 3 years. An acquaintance. He had a good job, nice truck, mortgage on a nice home. Minimal debt, in a relationship with someone out of his league. Before I knew him he'd had a DUI, but his attorney got him a plea deal that dropped the DUI down to a minor charge. A real lucky break. All he had to do was stay the course. He could have walked home that night. It was less than 2 miles. But he was too proud to leave his truck at the bar. So instead he wrapped it around a power pole. No one was hurt, including him. The judge who got his case was furious to learn his previous DUI had been pled down. The judge rejected a plea deal and vowed to throw the book at him. There was prison, then a year on house arrest. His job required a driver license, so that was gone. I don't know at what point in his house arrest he could have started working. But he refused to. His former employer offered him a non-driving job, less money but still good money. He turned it down because it was beneath him. He said the same thing to 2 jobs his girlfriend single-handedly secured for him. Even after his house arrest, he refused to work. He said he didn't want to. Apparently yelling at his girlfriend to pay his mortgage was better than working. She finally got the courage to leave. His parents found him dead. No one will ever know if he intended to drink himself to death or whether it just happened. His parents blamed the girlfriend. Apparently the world would still be graced by his presence if she had stayed to get hit and yelled at. Please don't drive drunk. Not ever. Not even a little. If you're not sure, just don't. And if you suspect you have the disease of addiction, please get help. I don't really care that this person died, but he hit a lot of innocent branches on the way down. A lot of suffering for no reason. A coach at the school I worked at led the boys' basketball team to state and was awarded Coach of the Year. Comments on the post about his award started filling up with sexual assault accusations from former students. Obviously an investigation was immediately launched and he shot himself in the head by the end of the week. Literally went from being awarded and praised to dead by suicide within days. Left behind a wife and 2 young kids. My rich uncle destroyed his life by getting drunk and killing a woman with his car. For backstory, my uncle was a very successful corporate lawyer. He had it all. Beautiful family, multi-million-dollar mansion, fancy cars, and constant vacations to any exotic place in the world he felt like going to. That all went away when he got blackout drunk at a holiday party with the law firm and ended up hitting a young woman with his car. Dragging her body for a mile or so, and then running/hiding from the cops. The girl was killed and in his drunken stupor he must have decided it was a good idea to speed at 100 plus mph through the city with her body mangled on the hood. They found him later on hiding in a parking garage cowering in the corner. He had abandoned his car as it was completely totaled after he hit a tree trying to flee. He bailed on foot. The guy was always very arrogant, and even now as he serves his time in prison, he got off super easy considering he killed somebody. Having connections and wealth will do that. He doesn't show much remorse for the family of the girl he killed. He is mostly bitter that nobody wants to go visit him. He whines about it apparently. I will never look at him the same again. The girl he killed was a 23-year-old immigrant from Mexico. with dreams of being a nurse, and she was taking classes for that, until his arrogance ended her life. There's so much more I could share about the circumstances surrounding this that would make people's blood boil. He lost his career, his family lost everything they had basically. And worst of all, he ruined another person's family, and yet he hasn't learned his lesson. Had a friend that had the perfect girlfriend, a good career path, and just so many things going his way. Then the dude picked drugs over his girlfriend, and basically he gave up on everything for drugs. I haven't heard from the guy in about 7 years, so TBH. I don't even know if he's still alive. AHS teacher from my hometown who was married with children had an affair with her 17-year-old student. Apparently it was going on for over a year before anyone found out. When the whole thing came out, her life was basically over. She lost everything. My old friend ran across the street without looking because her dog was getting attacked by a snake. The car was probably going over 60 miles per hour and it ran into her. She's alive to this day, but she did suffer serious and permanent injuries. This happened years ago, by the way. It was traumatizing for her and everyone, including me, that saw it happen. At that time, I lived in a third world country, so the streets were busy as h*ll. It was also a rainy day, so it was hard for drivers to see. It was truly no one's fault. The driver also took responsibility. Fentanyl and meth. I have more dead friends than living friends, and I'm 28. First at 17, my best friend. Today was his birthday. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you enjoyed. Keep the thread going in the comments section down below.